7 new and cool advancements were added into Minecraft. Hello there, Ray here. We also got changes to the heavy core block, breeze charge collision, and item stacking beyond 64. Let's check this all out in detail while the subscribe button hopes to get rid of its red color. It's now easier to find the trial chambers. First you need to get a cartographer, then update it all the way to the journeyman level. Then you'll get the chance at giving different types of explorer maps, including the new trial chamber map. And when you purchase one of these, it'll show you where the nearest trial chamber is by using the map. You can see there's one that's just a little bit in this direction from me. This will make it much easier to find these structures since they are hidden underground, all the way below Y level 0 where the deep slate starts to generate in. Now that we can use maps to find these, they went ahead and made the actual structures a little bit more rare throughout the world and spaced them out a bit more from each other. So you won't find like 2 of them pretty close together like we did in the past. But in visiting one of these structures, we can now get some new advancements. Look at this new one. It's called Minecraft Trials Edition. A little play on words with the word Trial Edition, like you're giving Minecraft a try. And in the advancements tree, you can see you get this one just for stepping foot into a trial chamber. And you can get another new advancement by deflecting a breeze wind charge back at the breeze and killing it. This is called Blowback. Kill a breeze with a deflected breeze shot wind charge. Reminds of one where you reflect the fireball back onto the gas to kill it. Unlocking a vault for the very first time using the trial key will also get you another new advancement. This is called Under Lock and Key. Very cool, since you have to use the key in order to actually access the loot. And if you launch yourself up 8 blocks with a wind charge, this can be easily done by crouching and jumping and clicking at the exact same time. You'll get another new advancement, which is this one here, which is Who Needs Rockets? A cool way to teach players that they can actually go pretty high using wind charges if they time it correctly. And also indicating that you don't really necessarily need to have a elytra or rockets to boost yourself up a decent amount. There's also advancement related to the mace, and that is doing at least 50 damage when it comes to using it. This can easily be done just by making yourself your own iron golem, capturing it with some water underneath, and stacking up at least 20 blocks just to make it a little bit easier. Then falling down and making sure to hit the iron golem before you touch the water. This gets you the new advancement, Overkill. Deal 50 hearts of damage in a single hit using the mace. And since the iron golem has 100 health, you can easily hit over it. And if you ever miss, you can always come in and repair the iron golem and try again. Another great advancement to encourage players to use a mace how it was intended to be used. And does remind me of an old advancement where you'd have to do a certain amount of damage using a sword. That advancement was removed from the game a while ago, so it's great to see a similar one being brought back. There's also one related to copper, and that is when you clean off a oxidized copper lamp, you get a new one called Lighten Up. This is for scraping a copper bulb with the axe to make it brighter, as the light depends on the type of oxidization that has occurred on each of them. Plus we have a new advancement related to the crafter. If you make a crafter block and place it down and then make a recipe inside the crafter to craft another crafter, when it actually does the crafting and you're nearby, you get this new advancement called Crafters Crafting Crafters, which is the exact same name that I called my contraption, Crafter Crafting Crafters, which is the infinitely automatic machine that can produce the crafter blocks using crafters indefinitely. I'll have that video linked below for you guys. It's really cool that they added this advancement in, and you don't even need to build my crazy machine in order to get this advancement. But once again, it's great to see them encouraging players to use the new blocks at least one time through the use of advancements. And all 7 of these new advancements can be found here in the Adventure tab. Now we did not get a new advancement for collecting each of the new different variants of wolves, which can be found throughout the different biomes in the game. This would be a fun challenge similar to taming all the different types of cats, which can be done by flying around to different villages and hoping to find the different variants, or you can get them all actually just from using my cat farm here. But when it comes to these wolves, if they made an advancement to collect them all, it would be harder to actually get these because you couldn't just farm them from one location like you can cats. You'd have to actually go to these different biomes and hope to find a wolf that generated in. Do you think they should add in this advancement? And what other advancement do you think they should add? The next thing they added in was this little thumbs up button under the YouTube video. If you click it, it'll do wondrous things. Now the heavy core does have some cool properties, like it has high blast resistance so it doesn't get destroyed by explosions. This means it can be used like ender chest to prevent the explosions from going outwards if something is centered directly on it. But this only stops block damage and not damage to mobs and entities. But it also has some odd characteristics, such as if you place it down and tried to mine it, it didn't matter what type of tool you're using, nothing would mine it up fast. Haste would help though, so you could literally punch it at the same speed a netherite pickaxe could be used on it. So now it's supposed to be more efficient to use a pickaxe in order to break them, but it seems that it is the same speed as using your hand still. But they did make it so that they break faster than they were before. Also, the core was really easy to break with water, or push it with a piston to break it. So now you can go ahead and waterlog them, and liquids won't flow in and break them. But I just found a simpler way at breaking them down. If you just put a hopper underneath of them, and then you shift click some lava directly onto them, it will destroy them, but they do break as an item, and the hopper is fast enough to pick them up before they get burned by the lava. Now instead of breaking by getting pushed by piston, they now get pushed along with pistons, which is really cool, meaning that you can now have a block on flying machines that can't get destroyed by TNT, but also can be pushed by pistons similar to ancient debris. Plus it has this unique hitbox. And to try to get a similar type of explosion-proof block that has unique hitboxes, you'd have to waterlog stuff. And if you guys seen my previous flying machines that move water around, you know how messy it can be. Now they said they added in so we could go ahead and rotate these heavy cores, but it seems that the texture always ends up with the dark shaded side on the same side. When it's placed as a block, it is the exact same size as a mob head. So you could use this in some more aesthetic builds, although this thing is very difficult to get, being only a 2% chance of acquiring it from a vault loot. And despite the mace not being a sword, you could break down cobwebs really fast, which is not intended because normal things would be really slow, it's only the swords that are really fast. So the mace can no longer do that. Carpets that were on top of powder snow used to reduce fall damage completely as if you would fell into the actual powder snow, but in the last snapshot they all of a sudden weren't working. This apparently wasn't intended because they went ahead and decided to fix it. So once again, it's another great option for coming in one-hitting mobs and taking no fall damage if you happen to miss the mob. Although powder snow is pretty expensive compared to just getting some water. And the mace's subtitles when smashing stuff will no longer look like code. To prevent people from hiding behind like tall grass to avoid the breeze's wind charge attack, they made it so that wind charges could go through non-cubed blocks. But this accidentally made it so that wind charges could go through pretty much any block that should have a collision that just wasn't a full cube. But they finally got around to fixing this. Now wind charges will collide with these type of things, even if it happens to be very thin. But if there's no collision to something like string, it'll go right through it. With changes in the last snapshot, they accidentally made it so Breeze's wind charges got all glitchy like this. Even though the wind charges are being stored up over here, we can't really see that. Instead, they still appear that they're leaking and going this direction, even though this is just all a visual bug. And this is my machine that can one-hit any mob automatically, without even needing the player using a mace. We made some new versions of it, so look forward to those videos coming up. They also fixed the shuttering when it came to the player punching wind charges, either of their own or from Breeze. The data pack that Minecraft uses to run also had to get updated with all the different things needed in order to pull off these new advancements. There's also changes to the commands for inline loot values, loot tables, storage number provider, set lore as well as set written book pages for the function command, and toggle tool tips. Item predicate arguments also got updates, including item subpredicates, entity subpredicates, where stuff like wolves, cats, and frogs, which have different variants, can all be organized more easily. They also reorganized the food, so you can modify the different properties that food gives you. They also implemented in max stack size, so you can change how big a stacks items can be in Minecraft, as well as max damage, how much damage can be done to an item before it breaks. Items can also be made fire resistance using commands, as well as you can give individual items the different color names to show how rare they are. You also can set any type of block or item in the game to make it a tool, special tags so that those tools will work on certain things. This is all great for map makers, so they have a lot of options when building custom worlds. A problem just during the snapshots is that the Silk Touch and Fortune books were accidentally removed when it comes to the enchanted books here in the creator menu. But this was just one of a couple different enchanted related bugs that made it in during the snapshot. Other ones were enchanting tables could give you enchantments which you normally can't get, like Swift Sneak and Soul Speed. Bane of Arthropods enchantments will now continue to work on arthropod related mobs, and Impaling has been fixed to work once again on aquatics. The Unbreaking enchantment all of a sudden wouldn't work on items which had the Unbreaking tag. This is a special tag that you can put on with creative just so it never breaks. Now these two are compatible again. They fixed a number of bugs related to the visualizations throughout the game. There was also 2 crashes in the previous snapshot related to item modifiers. Now join me in testing out all these cool changes over at my testing server. You can find the IP on my Discord, and I'm also live streaming this over at Twitch, links down below. Otherwise, you can check out this playlist about other crazy things in the game of Minecraft, and I will see you guys all very, very soon. Bye bye!